My husband is a retired captain from the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department, and he was protecting a friend's shop back on June 2nd of 2020 during the riots, and he was murdered while doing that, and it was live streamed on Facebook.
A beloved retired St. Louis City police captain was shot and killed by a looter overnight. Dave Dorn was working security protecting Lee's pawn shop in the city.
4 St. Louis police officers have been shot while responding to violent protests in downtown St. Louis.
I've been in law enforcement for 28 years. I've worked on the street most of that time in very high crime neighborhoods. These criminals just don't have any morals, and I think that's where our problem stems from. They take a life and it was no big deal. When Ferguson happened in the city of St. Louis, it seems like the police became the enemy. We're not the enemies. The police are the first line of defense. We're there to protect everyday citizens. And I could be that bridge between Blexit and the blue, and we can come together. We all have the same mission, bringing peace back to our communities. That was what my husband was about. He was always about helping people, and I want his legacy to live on through me. You know, he was there helping a friend. He wasn't there to hurt anybody. According to the guys who were there, he was trying to talk him out of it. One of the guys who was trying to break into the place stayed with him and talked to him the whole time and, you know, tried to get him to hang on. You know, help was coming. That he wasn't alone. But that's where David took his last breath. For somebody to take a life like that of a man who was so great, it was just cold-hearted. And it's hard to think that this guy, that kind of evil exists in this world. And that's what we're facing day in and day out. It's evil. It really is. And we have to stand up to that evil and not let this happen to more people.
Hello, and this is Liberty and Freedom with Porsha and Brian. I am Brian Bledsoe, along with Porsha Jackson. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm still, to be honest, kind of, I guess you said, buzzing from last night because it was kind of a long night.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's all good. So now, first off, I want to mention. We've noticed we have a uptick in page likes, especially on Facebook in the past couple of days. So in saying that, welcome to everyone who has joined in the past week or so. We had a post featuring co-founder Candace Owens, and apparently we saw that Candace posted it on her account, which has like 5 million followers. So when it went on there, we got all this flood of traffic and likes and everything. So I just want to put it out there. So if you're on here for the first time and watching Liberty and Freedom, welcome, and hopefully you'll come back every month. So first off, as I mentioned about the event, so we had a after party last night after True Texas Project with their Texas Tough, Texas Proud gala, and it was more than we could imagine because we had far more than the space that we reserved, put it that way, which was a good thing. It wasn't like no one was able to come in or nothing like that. It was just that our particular spot was very crowded, but we was able to go across, around the whole restaurant. And so it was all good. But I appreciate everyone that came out, and a lot of people joined up. We had matter of fact, I have it on me right now. Let me get it. Like we had this. I don't know what that thing is blocking it, but we had one of these laminates going around so people can join. And yeah, so we don't even know how many people joined up as of right now. Probably find out probably sometime tomorrow. So yeah. So Porsha, what's up with you?
Same old, just working, tired, working, politics, getting ready for elections next month.
Yep. So
prepping for midterms for November, which is crazy because, even with the event yesterday, both events yesterday, the gala and then the after party, it's just so many things going on right now in preparation for election.
Yeah. Runoffs. I mean, that was one thing I wanted to bring up. We can bring it up right now is that, so for people that don't know, early voting for the May 7th election starts tomorrow, and and also there's a runoff election on May 24th.
Yes.
I make sure I did put that right. Yeah, May 24th so both dates will have passed by the time we come back on. So I wanted to make sure we mention that. And yeah, so
are you working either?
Neither. No, I'm not. I was, because I know I wasn't going to be in town, and so I'll have to do like the early voting and everything. Are you?
Yes, I'm working both.
Oh, okay.
I'm working both. So
you on election day or early voting?
Oh no, just election day.
Yeah.
Just election day for both.
Okay.
I'm already tired and it hasn't even come yet, but next week it'll be here before we know it. So
that's true. Now the difference between the May 7th and the 24th, 24th is mainly just for runoff. So so during the primary, you had the ones that didn't reach 50%. This is the runoff on the 24th. So May 7th is the one for like the constitutional proposals,
yes.
propositions and stuff. Yeah, and also depends on where you live. It could be some other things as far as city council. I know like where I live in Arlington, there are some city council races in there mixed in there as well. So yeah, go to whatever county you live in. Go to your county elections office website and get some information, get the sample ballots and all that. I mean, that's the stuff I have to do because I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I don't know everybody on the ballot. So I have to get that sample ballot to even kind of know what all the, we did propositions or whatever like that, just to kind of get a grasp of it all. Because it's a lot to try to keep track of on your own.
Yeah, and then for the May 7th election, for the different propositions, that this is one of those elections where people don't really come out, and people they'll be like, well, something was voted for and I didn't get to have my say so, or my voice wasn't heard. Well, you just got to come out and vote, because these elections matter. All of the elections matter. I mean, and I know we have a lot of elections in Texas, but
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Come out and vote in all of them. So.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it seems like we have an election almost every other week in this.
Yeah, it does, but they all count. They all matter.
Yeah, and especially the ones talking about city council, because those are local. The more local the government, the more it's going to affect your life.
Exactly.
And which is funny, but yeah, which is funny. The other people treat it the other way around. Like the more people get involved and want to vote for the federal government positions,
right? And it's just like, come on.
And all that stuff that's going to happen on the federal level is going to come down a whole lot slower to the person, to me, as opposed to someone that you vote for city council. Their decisions can affect you next month, the next day, probably.
Exactly. And it's so important. And, you know, I guess the popularity and the mainstream around federal elections is just like, no, local, every time. But how do we get that message out to make it more valuable and more popular? But then at the same time, for those of us that know, we know. Mm-hmm. And more so in local elections, there's a particular side that comes out and votes for those things and in that way. So that kind of works. But at the same time, it's just, you want to make sure you get out, vote in all of the elections. And I know Texas, we have more than anybody else, but come out and vote, because listen, it's crazy right now. So,
I mean, I can't think of an episode where I haven't mentioned an election coming up in that month. I don't think.
Yes.
I'm really trying to think, because in the past 6 months, I can't remember a time where I didn't mention an election. And if I didn't, I probably just forgot.
Yeah.
Didn't even mention it. So yeah. I mean, in this case, in May, we got 2. So I don't know. Well, June, I think there is something in June. I think there is. It might be a municipal, so it might just be something very local.
Yeah, municipal too, though.
Yeah. But what I'm saying, like, for me to bring it up, it would be just something just to talk about my city, as opposed to talk about Texas in general. So
yeah.
Now, I guess this happened very early in the month, but I guess just want to say a quick word about this, because unfortunately, but unsurprisingly, Judge Jackson, which is no relation to you,
no relation to me,
is now Justice Jackson. So. And she got confirmed. The vote was 53-47. I think it's something like that. So now she is now a Supreme Court justice, and I can almost guarantee that, you know, her twisted sense of justice is going to be rank all through her decisions, and all this. I don't know this, I don't know that. All that's going to go away now. She's going to be very definitive in all her decisions, and there's like. Oh yeah, she's gonna know everything now. All of a sudden, it's like a light bulb just went off, and now she knows everything. And
she didn't know what a woman was, but now she's gonna know what everything is.
Oh yeah.
But her getting confirmed it's unfortunate. I mean, for me, myself as a Black woman, what's the standard? What's the bar? There is none.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't know what it is at this point.
There is none.
I mean, even if she gets pressed on, like what we just mentioned, as far as like, well, during the confirmation hearing, you said you didn't know this, didn't know that, and now all of a sudden in your decision, you knew this. All of a sudden, you're very clear. And I'm pretty sure if she was, you know, pressed on that, she would probably just say, well, I just learned new information or something like that, and just try to just explain it that way, even though it's very well known that she knew all this long before she was even announced, and even during the confirmation hearings. It's just, all that was very deceptive, pretty much.
That was a lot of white guilt, those votes. Oh yeah, Black women are the most unprotected women in the United States of America. Let's white guilt her on in there. Let's pander, and let's go ahead and throw her in it's embarrassing. I mean, she's black, but I'm black, but they say skin folk ain't kin folk. She ain't got nothing to do with me. So,
as black conservatives in particular, we definitely have heard that. That used plenty of times.
Nothing. And all of that talk, the CRT hating white folks with her white husband. Listen.
Right there.
I don't have a problem with interracial marriages or dating, but I do have an issue whenever you are speaking ill or negatively towards white folks, and you're trying to make, you're trying to push this idea that the white man is the devil, but you're in the bed with him. So
yeah. And speaking of white, and speaking of white guilt, I mean, thanks for nothing what goes to Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski. I mean, I can always count on those three to be the absolute worst. I mean, but look, that's Utah, Maine, and Alaska's problem, because those are states that elected them. And I mean, in some cases, for Collins and Murkowski, they've been there for like decades now. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, so I don't have any room for it. Like, it just makes me sick. Like white liberals, like white leftists, the white guilt stuff, it disgusts me. And I don't want anything to do with them or it. And I don't feel bad about it. It's just like, y'all keep that over there, with the mainstream black people that think that y'all mean what y'all say, but give me a white Texan. They say don't mess with Texas. We don't bother nobody. We don't want to be bothered. We all kind of have the same energy. You stay over there, I'll stay over here. We get along when we get along, and I'm all right with that. But I don't need you to try to make me feel good or try to give me some type of participation trophy because I'm black. And that's degrading. It's disrespectful. It's so low. I don't want anything to do with this. Okatanji. Unfortunately, we share the same last name. I hate it, but for whatever, I guess.
Yeah. She's going to be there for a long time. I mean,
that's for life. Unless she retires. But that's where she's at.
It's a lifetime appointment, even though it doesn't supposed to be. And there are ways. I mean, anyone can be, I just say impeached or whatever from the position. I mean, but it rarely happens. I mean, it's this whole fake decorum that goes on along with that. That really gets on my nerves. But I'm not going to get into that because I can talk about that forever. So, I want to go into the next subject because we started off the stream by showing the video and Dorn, yes. And this is a Back to Blue month, and we were able to visit the Irving Police Department a couple of days ago, on Friday, and we were able to just show our appreciation for the men and women that lay their lives on the line every day to protect our community. So, and we've done that event, and we're, as far as like showing the video there, we just wanted to highlight, as far as for this month for Brexit, it is about Back to Blue. Now, the thing about when I mentioned this, unfortunately, I feel like I need to make this disclaimer, because as soon as we start talking about this, all of a sudden you start having people, especially on the left, that want to make it seem like, oh, well, you just back anything law enforcement does. That's not true. Right? We are in support of people, in support for law enforcement that follows the law, not goes beyond the law or not acting like they're above the law.
Yeah.
And just want to make that statement. It doesn't. I feel like it shouldn't have to be, but I'm pretty sure someone that watched this is like, well, y'all just support anything law enforcement does. No, that's not the case.
Well, for me, I don't care what people think. So I'm Back to Blue all day and all night. I have 2 cars. On both my cars, I have my American flag. I have my Back to Blue flag. For me, whatever it is that they say, oh, black people, police brutality. Listen, I don't know what they're talking about because that's not my experience. We're not a monolith. Every single black person does not have that experience with the police, but I was not raised in the Black community. I'm not from the Black community. I don't have any social ties to the Black community. When I say to the Black community, I'm like the hood, like, Stop 6, Eastwood, Oak Cliff, South Dallas. That's not where I'm from. So I don't feel anything because it has nothing to do with me. But whenever you're talking about eliminating the police, the only people that hurts is Black people the most. And where crime is rampant, we just had that incident in Atlanta where the security guard who was on his way to work got shot in the back of the head. They robbed him, and a few other folks walked up on him and took his wallet and robbed him while he was down and dead. They weren't white and they weren't cops, but you didn't see Black Lives Matter for that. And instances like that, you want to have the police present because that's what they're there for. But I mean, honestly, if I was a cop, I wouldn't be answering those calls to go to the hood. Y'all don't want me there. I'm not going. I'm not going. You don't want me there.
Yeah, I mean, then you hear a lot of people, especially the most vocal in the community, that are constantly saying, "Hey, we don't want you here. Why are you here harassing us and stuff like that?"
Don't go.
And then when they don't show up, like, where are you? Like, which one do you want?
Don't go. Like, for me, if I was a cop and I had to deal, like, you're sending me out. Okay, so let's just say it's a Black woman and she's in a domestic abuse relationship with a Black man, or, it's like some type of inappropriate sexual misconduct between her kids because she has several kids and there's some strange man and she calls the cops. Don't show up. Now, the thing is, a lot of those people, they don't vote, but a lot of them do. But even if they don't vote, they're still on the side of the left that calls for the mismanagement of your community. And it calls for the breakdown and the destruction of your community. So if this is what you believe in and this is what you agree with, then whatever comes your way, you deserve it. I don't live out there, so it don't impact me.
I mean, the whole thing about defunding the police, I mean, you had that movement go about, and then you saw the ramifications of that. And now you have a lot of these, the same people who were talking about defunding the police now talking about basically, I guess funding the police now.
Refunding them, like bringing them back. It's like y'all didn't want the cops, right? That's what y'all wanted. See, because it's not the majority of us. It's the minority of Blacks. And you see, we get called coons and sellouts and all this other kind of stuff like that. Now, like I said, for me, proudly come from a 2-parent household. My parents worked hard. They busted their butts for me to live where I lived and for me and my siblings to be raised as we were raised. So I don't come from that background. But as a Black person, I do care about my people and I prioritize my people for sure. But if my people are louder than me and I'm ousted because I'm not a baby mama, or I'm ousted because I'm not on welfare, or I'm ousted because I don't agree with the mainstream ideology of what it is, then hey, whatever happens to y'all, I'm good.
Yeah. So
yeah, all day and all night. So I feel like police are important. Now, are all cops good? No, but cops are humans. Am I always good? Or is everybody around me always good? No. You just got to be realistic. Yeah. Holding them to a higher standard because they wear a badge. I mean, I wear a badge when I go to work every day. You wear a badge when you go to work every day. We fall short sometimes. But does that mean that we oust them? And in your position, your job is very important, especially with everything that's going on in our country right now. So do I say, let's get rid of Brian because of he leans one way politically? No. But, that's what it is. So I just disassociate myself with those people because they have nothing to do with me. And whatever happens to them happens. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah. And so across all the state chapters for Bledsoe, we have done all sorts of events for Back to Blue this month. And so, yeah, you can check out Bledsoe National Facebook page and see, and also just check all our state chapters. I mean, at this, I said that now, and I was thinking, like, I don't know how many off the top of my head, but we have a lot, let's put it that way. And yeah, so just go to Bledsoe.com and click on chapters, and you can see all the different chapters and what we all are doing. So the next thing, I guess I wanted to mention, I mean, especially because we're talking about Texas. So Governor Abbott, earlier this month, look, I'm going to say this, And I don't know if this is going to get clipped if I run for office or whatever like that, or some sort of scandal, they're going to clip this one little part. I agree with what Jen Psaki said. Because she said that what Governor Abbott did as far as sending illegal immigrants to Washington, D.C. was a political stunt. And I actually agree with that because it was a political stunt, at least in my opinion, because for one, in his executive order, it wasn't even like you had to volunteer to get on the bus to go to D.C. And for one thing, you're sending them the wrong direction. Why are you sending them further into the country as opposed to sending them out the country? So
right.
Yeah, I didn't understand what was that. I mean, I understand the visual, so I get that. I understand the visual of it as far as like, well, if you're going to continue to have illegal immigrants coming into Texas, well, we're going to send you to Washington, D.C. Okay, that sounds good, but it really isn't.
No, it's not, because that's my money, and I have a problem with that. And so what you can do as the governor, especially in a state like Texas, I mean, Ron DeSantis is pooping all over our state right now, and it's really embarrassing. They wouldn't even got a foot in the door to even get on a bus to even be chartered to DC. You're sending them to a place to where they're welcomed.
True.
We don't want them here, but you know what I'm saying? Like, to eliminate them from being here, just don't let them come in at all. Like, gas is high, inflation is through the roof, and you're taking these people that shouldn't be here to begin with, and you're taking my money and you're sending them to another state like DC. No, absolutely not. No.
Nope. And you know what? So speaking of Florida, I mean, I would say in better news, because in Florida, Governor DeSantis stripped Disney of.
He's killing it. Like,
because one of the things he did is like stripping Disney from, of their special tax breaks that they've had for decades.
Good.
And yeah, I mean, it's all in, because what has been going on with the parents' bill and everything, and
those people
Disney,
are sick.
And Disney wanted to put their 2 cents in about it and all of that, and they, and yeah, and so now all this has come about. And but look, for one, like I said, they had it for decades, and one, they shouldn't have had it in the first place. I mean, they shouldn't even had this sort of status or able to basically just set their own rules or anything like that.
They were their own country. They were their own governing body. They existed in the United States of America, in a particular state, Florida, and they were their own governing body. Like, they were their own country. And so now, since you want to, well, I can't say that. Get woke, go broke. I'll just say that instead. You start talking trash, and you got a governor like DeSantis, you gonna mess around and find out. So, and they found out. So good on DeSantis, because Disney, I'm glad I went before all of this stuff hit the fan. I have no intention on ever going back. I don't have Disney Plus. I mean, those people are pedos for what they're pushing. The Democrats don't realize what they look like by pushing this stuff. It's just like, y'all really want these kids to be exposed to this stuff. Whenever we're talking about gender and we're talking about sex, it's sex. Come on now. Y'all are weird. I don't want anything to do with it. So good on Ron DeSantis, good on Florida. We always say hold Texas, hold the nation, but it's like hold Florida, hold Texas, and then the nation, because Florida is leading the charge right now. Ron DeSantis is amazing, and people love him. His results are, I mean, they're illuminating throughout the country, and I wish Governor Abbott had half of the cojones that DeSantis does. Maybe he'll show us something. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm not optimistic about it though.
I'm not either, but
I don't blame a corporation for, like Disney, for what they, as far as accepting, what was given to them, or at least even if they asked for it, because it's up to those, the government officials, whether it's talking about city or the county or the state. They're the ones that accept or offer all of these tax breaks to these corporations. And I mean, we're talking about free money in their eyes, at least for the corporation. So why? I don't blame them for taking it. Now,
but the Democrats say tax the rich, tax the big corporations. Where are the Democrats at? Where they at? Where they at? Well, I don't hear nothing. Y'all said y'all supposed to tax the rich.
Did you hear when the Florida House was voting on it?
Yeah, that was a mess.
So that was the Democrats. That was them howling, literally howling to try to stop that vote. And that was so ironic, and I would say pretty much hypocritical, because they're the ones always looking to try to eliminate all these special tax breaks for corporations. All of a sudden,
it was.
Yeah, all of a sudden now you want to protect this one in particular. So yeah, that was very interesting. So
you want to protect the one that exposes kids. You want to protect the one that hovers over the innocent. That's what you want to protect. They are doing a fine job at exposing who they really are. And I love it, because it's just like, gosh, you guys, y'all are doing good in your power play, but y'all just suck right now, because people are just like, ooh, I don't think I want anything to do with that. But the Democrats are fighting so hard to uphold this idea of just it's disgusting. But thank God for Ron DeSantis. I'll tell you what.
This is a case where I think a lot of conservatives could actually take a lesson in playing offense as opposed to traditionally playing defense. And we need more.
Not bending the knee. Don't bend the knee. You see what happens when you don't bend the knee.
Yeah.
Look at
and
Florida.
We need more.
They ain't bending no knees.
We need more in Texas. We need more out even in the governor's office. We need more in legislature and the House and the Senate. We just need more of that. And so
yes, absolutely.
And so before we go, one last thing I want to mention is, so one of our pillars for Blexit is education in particular. And I just wanted to mention that we are looking to start I guess you say like an education program and after school program. And we've already had like a liberation camp for kids, I think in Tennessee, and I think somewhere else as well. But we're looking to have that here in Texas, and we're hoping to do it to launch sometime in the fall. And like I said, we're looking to do an after school program and also other events around that. At this point right now, I'm just wanted to mention, because we're more so focused on staff, trying to get people to work at this program and everything like that. So if you're interested in this education program, just send us a message either on Facebook, on Instagram, anywhere, and let us know you're interested, and we'll get in contact with you. So, and that is well, we're past 30 minutes, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, as far as next month's events, we at this moment do not have confirmed events. Let's put it that way. And so as soon as we confirm some events for May, we'll definitely put it out, just like the after party and everything. The next confirmed event right now is in June, and it's during the Republican Party of Texas State Convention in Houston, and we're going to be having a reception around that at the Hampton Inn on June 17th. So that's the next confirmed event. But like I said, we're going to have more in May. But like I said, we're just going to have to nail down some of the details. Well, there's one. So our next stream is going to be May 29th. So I know that. Yes. So I know that in May at least. So yeah. So like I said, yeah, we're at 35 minutes. So yeah. So for one, I appreciate everyone watching. Again, I appreciate everyone that came out to the after party last night, and everyone that has come on to the Facebook page in particular. Thank you for liking our page, and hopefully you like what you see, and hopefully you can join up and we can continue to grow Blexit Texas and Blexit in general. And so, Porsha, you have any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Blexit Texas, we should be like, super popping, because we're Texas, we're the Lone Star. So y'all can come on over, because it's Texas. Why not? So And vote next month, vote next month, vote next month. That's all I have to add.
May 7th, May 24th. So that's a good way to end it. So for Porsha Jackson, Brian Bledsoe, thank you for watching Liberty and Freedom.